Welcome back to Student Hub Live. In this session, we're going to take a look at tutorials, and we're going to give you a tour of our online rooms. These are where we hold tutorials and where we also hold Student Hub Live events. Those of you who came on Saturday may already be familiar with them. I have the lovely Zoe Gipson with me today, who is a Senior Product Development Manager with the Learning Experience team, and she's responsible for the online rooms to deliver the learning events. So no small feat there, Zoe. Thank you for coming along today to talk to us all about this. We've also got some things we'd like you to fill in at home. So we'd like to know if you've been to a tutorial before, if you've got a headset. So just click those multi-choice questions with the option that applies to you on your screen so that we know where you're at right now. So Zoe, the first thing I wanted to ask you is why students should go to online tutorials. What's the benefit of actually attending?
Well, the benefit is that majority of your study is online. So a way for you to connect with your tutor and the students that are on your module is to go along to the tutorials. Obviously, these are live events. The beauty of it being online is you don't have to share your camera. We're all familiar with that now. You may just have got out of bed, or you may just be getting ready to go to bed, depending on your shift pattern, where you are in the world. Or it might be, and I'm going to take this off because I don't normally wear my dressing gown to work, that you've just come back from work and you are rushing back and having to cook dinner. So it's really about, we try and be as flexible as possible for you, so that you can join in with your tutor and students and get the best from your learning. And actually, I find the best way to learn sometimes is to go along and listen to other people, ask those questions, and work through problems. And that can sometimes really help you cement your learning, and maybe put you right on the track again if you don't understand a particular problem.
Yeah, no, absolutely. One of the things people were worried about on Saturday was whether we could see a webcam into their home or know what was going on. My dogs are just about to start a fight. So it was a big concern for people like me that we were able to not necessarily have to mute ourselves, but it was already muted. Nobody could see or hear what was going on in your home. And I know that for people with small children who may need to dash away from the computer, that can be really, really reassuring. Okay, so what can students then expect when they go to these tutorials? So we know that they're a great place to connect, but can you give us an idea about what might happen in them?
Sure. So if you're used to a brick university, you may be used to a sort of lecture style approach. At the Open University, most of our tutorials are not lecture based. So when you go, they're normally going to be, so there will be some interaction, some collaboration. And that might be, and I think we're showing you some slides as well. So it might be that the tutors have prepared some activities for you. It might be that they're asking you to join in a poll, or they might be wanting you to join in a whiteboard, or to type in the chat pod, or be putting you into breakout rooms for sort of more collaborative group work where you bring it back into the main room for a discussion. So usually there is an element of interaction, some more so than others. It's important to say that you shouldn't feel nervous about it. It's understandable that you will, but you contribute as much as you feel you can. But obviously for you as students, the more you contribute, the more that everyone will get out. You want to stimulate those conversations and to work through those problems. And often the tutor is wanting that interaction from you as well to help work through some of those problems and for you to get the best out of your tutorials.
Brilliant. Now we've got lots of new students here, Zoe, but 26% of them have been to an online tutorial before, which is wonderful. I know we've also got some regular students here and some of our Student Hub Live ambassadors in the chat who are also contributing. So thank you for also sharing your experiences. We also asked people whether they've got a headset or not, and I'm delighted that 87% have. I think it's possibly got to be one of the most necessary items in the home in COVID times, isn't it? Do you need to have a headset, or do you need any equipment to attend a tutorial?
That's a really good question. We do recommend that you wear a headset or earphones with integrated mic. And the reason for that is that you need to block out as much background noise as possible. And also the speaker that can be playing back the noise from the tutorial can be picked up if you are using integrated, and that can create an echo in the room for everyone else. And so we're all familiar with, our personal online interactions that we have, and we're probably not using headsets for most of those, and that's fine for a sort of personal setting. But when we're in a tutorial, it's really important to think about the audio and to think about everybody else. There might be people who need to really listen to their tutorial, so the audio is super important. It might be that they're feeling a little bit nervous, so having good audio is super important, or that English is not their first language. So there are many reasons why we say to have a headset, and it isn't necessarily all about the technology has to have that. It's about providing the best possible experience for everybody in that room. Okay, and if you do not have anything, then a modern computer will probably be okay with integrated, but you do need a quiet room away from the rest of the family and close the door. But if you're asked to mute your mic because there's echo or feedback, then just be prepared for that.
And some people log on to tutorials on their smartphone or their tablet, and in a variety of different places and settings, because one of the things that's so fantastic about the OU is the flexibility there. So again, I guess it's about just getting a really quiet space, but you can also use a lot of the functionality on those devices as well.
You can. You're absolutely right. I mean, there are things that you cannot do on a mobile. So, again, if that's the only way that you can attend with your mobile, so that you can listen and be heard or type in the chat pod, then that is better than nothing. We would certainly encourage you to turn up. But obviously, if the tutor has planned some more in-depth activity that involves, the whiteboard, the draw tools, and other things like that, then obviously the smaller the screen, it's probably harder to interact. But nothing is impossible, and the main thing is that you go and you make the most of it and you contribute as best you can.
Brilliant. Now, we asked people at home whether they'd booked online tutorials, and 60% said yes and 40% had said no. So how do people find their tutorial timetable? This is a really key thing, because the benefit of booking your tutorials is really great.
Yeah, good question. So very quickly, on the module website, under the tutorials page is where you'll find the rooms to go for your tutorials. Automatically, your tutorial dates and times will not be listed there. We provide you with a link to Student Home where the booking system is. If you go there, you can see everything that's available to you. Choose the ones that most suit you to book on. When you have booked on those, if you go back to the tutorials page, refresh it, or another time, you will see that the ones you have booked on are automatically listed on your module website. And there's a link directly to the room for all of those events that you have booked on.
Brilliant. HJ, have you got a question for us?
Yes, I've got just a really quick and actually really great question from Elizabeth. Elizabeth wants to know, is it okay to attend or book on tutorials that are not with our assigned tutors?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a very good question, isn't it? So in the booking system, there will be many tutorials that are available to you. If they are available to you in the booking system, there is no reason why you cannot attend. What we try and do is give you an option of those that will be just for your tutor in your tutor group, or it might be that we give you an option of different dates and times of the same tutorial, but with different tutors. So you get an idea of, and there's two reasons for that. One is obviously giving you the flexibility because your tutor can't be in multiple places at the same time. And the other one is that it gives you a flavour. You can go and see other students maybe, or get a different idea. So each tutor will have their own way of delivering and their own way of putting things across. And for some subjects, it's important to get a variety of different views and delivery styles that get that point across. So if they are available to you in the booking system, then yes, of course, you are welcome to book on them.
Brilliant. Sorry, I just got my guest here as well. The last thing I wanted to ask, well, not the last thing, but another important thing from that is, once you've booked the tutorials, then how do people access them? And is there anything that they might need to know before the first time that they access a tutorial?
Sure. So when you've booked on your tutorials, you will find them under the tutorial tab on your module website, and all of your booked events will be in a table, and there'll be a link next to each one that will give you a link to the room, that what we call the join room page, and you'll get a button that says join the room. So we recommend you would join your room about 10 minutes before your tutorial. In theory, there is nothing that you need to do before you go to your tutorial. When you click on that join room, what will happen is it will either take you in via the browser, or it will say, do you want to install an application? We do recommend that for anybody who has a modern Windows or Mac computer to install the application, because it does manage your audio and video better. That said, if you can't do that, for example, you're on a Chromebook, then you can enter via the browser, and that works incredibly well. So there isn't really much you need to do beforehand. Just make sure you follow the instructions on your join room page, plug your headset or your earphones in before you enter the room, and you should be in a good place.
That's absolutely brilliant. Now, in addition to tutorials, there are other rooms that students can socialise in as well with this technology. So this technology is something that the OU use, but like we do at Student Hub Live, have workshops in Adobe Connect. Other people use it for other things as well. Can you briefly just tell us about that, Zoe?
Yeah, sure. So Adobe Connect has been integrated with our virtual learning environment that Tammy talked about, so that it can be used as a tool for different types of activity. So you may find that there are different rooms added for specific activities that the module team want to build in there. And it may be that they've provided a different type of room, what we call a student room, and they sit under the resources tab of your module website. These rooms have been set up so that you as students can get into them without a tutor present. And they may have been set up as like a coffee room, so you can self-organise yourselves and say, grab a coffee and I'll meet you at 7 o'clock and we'll have a chat. And it's got a video in and audio and a chat pod, so you can just meet and have a chat. Or they may have been set up in a different way for you to share content. Maybe you've got to work on something together, collaborate, and then present it later in your module. So we provide different types of rooms for different types of activities.
Brilliant. Well, let's end, Zoe, by looking at what people had to say when we asked them our final question: will you be attending tutorials if you can? So let's see what people said. 96% of them said yes. So I think we've done a fabulous job convincing people of the benefit
Brilliant.
of tutorials and also the ease at which they can attend them. So thank you very much, Zoe, for coming along today. That's all we've got time for in this session, I'm afraid, but we have lots of workshops in Adobe Connect, so you might like to look at the Student Hub Live website and sign up for things. And we release them 3 weeks before each event, and we have a mailing list so that you can enter your email, and then we'll let you know when we release new events. They're all things like essay writing, time management, academic communication, and lots of really valuable things for all students at all levels. Well, we're going to show you some videos now from the OU Library, because they're going to be my next guest. The library is a really fantastic resource, and this video will tell you how the OU Library can help you and also what support they offer for disabled students. And then I'll meet some of the library team in the next session. See you then.